Hi, friends. We're going to get started here in just a moment. Getting my chat ready for you. We'll kick off this show in, let's see here, about 60 seconds. In the meantime, I'd love to hear how you're doing. Say hello. Let me know how your week's been. How your weekend, I guess. That's what we're most, I don't know, or since I last saw you, what's new? Let me know. I'm going to tell you what's new with me. We're going to have a nice little chat tonight. Well, hello, Elliot. Man, Laura, hello. Yes. So I'm getting my chat pulled up. Here we go. Make sure that this is working. Oopsies. Let's do this. There we go. Thanks. I love these earrings. I got these in Estes Park in Colorado. I love picking up little pieces of jewelry from all over the, all my travels. They're nice little reminders. Every time I put them on, I'm like, oh yeah, that trip that I took to, that's one of my favorite things. Oh, Laura, I was worried about you. I was thinking 6 p.m. Well, it is 6 p.m. here in Chicago, but that's because we just did daylight savings yesterday, so that could be throwing some people off, for sure. Because I think, if I remember right, you're in Indiana, and I don't think you guys observe daylight savings. I'm doing this from memory, though. Hello, Mummy. Mummy. Okay. All right, so now let's kick off the show officially. Here we go. Hello, my name is Lynn Clementi Hicks. Welcome to our Monday night chat here on Baby Talk, where we explore fertility, infertility, IVF, IUI, miscarriage, adoption, fostering, growing your family, and just general feelings in life. That's pretty big, well, it's narrow yet big. I have been taking you guys on the journey through our endeavor, our journey to create a family. So if it's your first time catching, please say hello, say that you're new. I do check the chat after, whether you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube. I do check those chats in between episodes, and I would love to hear from you. So don't be shy. Okay, so today I have named today's episode, what did I name it? I have to look at it again. The roles we play in relationships. So I'm going to give you a little backstory, but I want you to kind of ponder your own relationships, whether it's with your family, with work, with your significant other, with best friends, with teammates. And I want you to think about how you might be different in each of those settings. All right. I'll try and take that down there. Here we go. Okay. So why is this a topic? Okay. Bert, comment if you're listening. I don't know. So as this our normal routine, I do my live stream while he's making dinner on Mondays. I'm going to tell you about. I didn't clear this with Bert, which is why I'm wondering if he's asking. Okay. I haven't seen him comment yet, so I think maybe he's not. I'm not going to say anything that I wouldn't want him to hear anyway. But here's where I'm going with all this. Oh, he is listening. Okay. All right. So Bert, you can weigh in if you want to, but I am going to talk about the kind of the whole thing that happened last week. So here we go. Bert and I are working on not only growing our family, right? And we've started this whole fostering process where we volunteered with some kids at a foster home. We have the paperwork to begin getting our background check so that we can start getting approved to be foster parents ourselves. It's a long process. I don't necessarily have any big updates on that. I did a lot of that updating last week, so if you missed that episode, check that out real quick. Okay, Bert gave me the green light to talk about this. Okay, so the other thing that we're working on is that house project that we had months ago. They left a lot of our walls and insides of our living room exposed. They replaced the beam, but they did not replace the drywall and everything that makes it look like a normal living room. So our house is structurally sound. It's just not sound for having guests and company over, let alone, getting approved to have foster kids come live here. So it has become well, it's been a priority, but we're making a reality to patch up all the holes in the walls and the ceiling and cover this ginormous beam and this pole that's now in the middle of our living room and make it look good. And I have to do a huge shout out. Dad came and helped out again with that project yesterday. But let's back up. So he helped us last Sunday, and then in between last Sunday and yesterday, Bert and I were supposed to try and make a little bit of progress during the week. And we only really had one day to do that because of all we did traveling and we had shows and everything like that last week. So Tuesday was our day. And on Tuesday, okay. I don't know how, okay. This is fine. This is raw. I'm going to give you raw. That's what I always do. We were looking at this one section where it's particularly difficult to just put drywall up. They put in some more supports, and we weren't sure how we would hide it so it looks nice, and the wall's uneven. There's a hole, and the electric box needs to be moved in order to do everything. So we're working on this together. We're looking at the problem and hemming and hawing about what the options are to fix this. And it's frustrating because we've already just worked a full day of problem solving at work, and now we're problem solving, in the evening. And I guess, I don't know, at some point, we just get fatigued of problem solving. Now, I was getting frustrated because I felt like I was the one that had to come up with a solution. That's not necessarily what it was. It's how I felt. It was my perceived reality. So while we were working on figuring out what we were going to do, I get a text message from a very close friend of mine that let us know that she's pregnant. Okay. I'm not going to say who that friend is. I have sworn to secrecy on that one, and I will not allude to who it is at all. I will not tell you guys if you know her or anything like that. But a friend said, hey, I know that you've been going through all of this, and we've been so close and talking about it. And I do talk to so many people directly through chats and everything, like a lot of people. And I love all of them, and I love that support. And she goes, I just want to let you know that I'm pregnant, and I didn't want you to find out any other way except directly from me. And I want you to know that you're kind of one of the only people that knows. So, in that moment, I was not in a place to hear that somebody else was pregnant because, frankly, it just felt like nothing was working out. This hole in the wall that we're looking at that we can't figure out, this fostering stuff that seems like we're almost in over our heads. I know we will get through it, but it just seems like nothing is going our way, and it's going everybody else's way. And in that moment, I had to take a deep breath, and I wasn't able to respond to my friend in the moment, and that's okay. Just so you know, like, you can be happy for someone, but you can also have your own feelings too, right? And so I was like deep breathing and like trying to just stay focused on what Bert and I were doing, but I was also at the same time, I needed to let it out. And I knew that the only person around was Bert, and it wasn't going to go well. To be honest, guys, if we didn't handle that situation well. I said words that I didn't mean towards him, and we kind of had a fight. We kind of had a little blow up, and I said, look, the next thing I'm going to say to you is not nice. I'm going to take a walk. Bert poured his feelings out to me and said, I feel like I have to be the strong one, and I need to be here to lift you up when you're feeling sad. And I'm paraphrasing, this is how I heard it. And how I interpreted that was that I'm weak and that my feelings are too much, and he needs to shut his own down in order to help me. Now, that's in the long run, I will tell you now that is not how he intended that to be or sound, or that's not what he said. And just real quick, I just want to say hi because I haven't seen Piyush here in a long time. So hi, Piyush. Sorry, I'm breaking up my story. This is real intense here, but hello. And then, hey, Sammy, nice to see you. Thanks so much. And I know that there's other streamers going on with a special episode tonight, so I really appreciate my streaming friends tuning in to say to be here live with us. So hi. Okay, so I went for a walk, and I called Kelly, my best friend. I mention her once in a while, and I said, Kelly, I don't know what's going on. Bert and I this is all becoming too much, and I don't know what's going on. And she and I talked for darn close to an hour. Maybe it was 45 minutes. It felt like an hour. It was cold outside, so it felt a lot longer than it was, probably. But what we got to in the end, and this is where all this is going, is I realized, my role in the relationship with me and Bert is often the problem solver when it comes to things other than figuring out travel plans, because that's Bert does that, and then also like figuring out what we're going to eat, and that's also Bert, who does an amazing job like meal planning throughout the week. But what I realize is that sometimes our roles can get to be too much. Like they're just, you can have like, okay, this is what I normally do in this relationship with this person, but sometimes you don't want to be in that role, right? And that can kind of backfire if you're like not aware of your role and you're just frustrated and you just kind of like lash out, like, okay. You know how sometimes you're in a fight and you use the phrase like, you always, and then fill in the blank, and you use it in a pejorative way, a way that kind of makes it seem like that's a bad thing. But really, if you were to say those words like, oh, you always act like you're the problem solver, right? And maybe that is the role. Maybe you're the problem solver, and that's where, it might seem like you're the leader in the relationship or the bossy one or whatever other, kind of ways you want to put that is. But I hadn't really gotten to that like realization on my own. I had to talk through it with Kelly to come to, to say, wow, I never even thought about the different roles that Bert and I play in our relationship. We get comfortable. We find ourselves in the roles. We didn't get married and in our vows say, okay, I'll be the problem solver. You do the menu for the week for all of our dinners. I will, you scoop the litter box and I will do the laundry. It's not like that's something that was decided, when we first met. These are the things that as you're in a relationship with somebody, they kind of just happen, right? I don't know. How many sit downs do you guys have, to decide what your roles are going to be in your relationship? So I would love to hear from you, as I'm saying this, if you can reflect back, something maybe that's coming to mind for you in any kind of your relationships, even if it's something as simple as I'm the goalie on my soccer team, or, I'm the one that plans all the holidays for the family. What's coming to mind for you as a role that you play? And then I'm going to ask you another question after that, which is, do you like that role? Is that a role that you chose or was given to you? So I'm going to let that kind of hang out there for now, but I want to explore this with you guys. I have another cute story. Well, I have a cute story. The first story I told wasn't actually very cute. And just like to kind of full closure there, when I came back and I said, Bert, I think I have these roles and you have that roles, and I wasn't feeling my role at the time, I apologize because I was just exhausted. That had nothing to do with you. It had everything to do with me not wanting to be in my role. How many times have I said roll? If we were doing a drinking game, we would all be on the floor if we had to do a shot every time I said roll on this episode. So we talked it out and we hugged and we were okay after that. After we kind of had that acknowledgement, that apology session, and it was okay. And I would like to say we had makeup sex, but I was on my period because that was another thing that kind of happened last week too. So just everything happening all at once. Kelly's here. Hi, Kelly. We're watching you on TV tonight. Woo, putting me on the big screen. Good thing I'm looking a little fancy with my earrings here. So I'm gonna, let's see here. I don't know who. I know I have people watching. I can't actually see who's watching. Otherwise I would be like, all right, Kim, let's hear from you now. Let's talk about, I'll talk about the cute story I was about to tell you, which is at work, our office went from before the pandemic, I think we were 14 or 15 people, and we're about half of that now. So we have become a little bit even closer as a team. And I now have nicknames in the office, and all of them are variations of Lynn. Like more commonly lately has been Lindo. I don't know why. My boss said it one day, and it became a thing, and it kind of stuck. But I don't like the name, so I was like, guys, you can't call me that. Only Chris can call me that. Anyway, but but they like to pick on me to the point because they know that I like don't like I can be picked on and I'm not gonna like go home crying or anything. I kind of push back like a smart ass, and I think that that's like the role that I play there. I'm very reliable, I'm dependable, and work really hard. And they can pick on me, and I can pick on them, and it's kind of a give and take. And I think that that's my role there is, I don't know, to kind of be like the kind of the person that everyone picks on. That sounds so mean, but I don't know. I'm okay with it. It's fine. I think it's like my place. Yeah. Here we go. We have a comment from Elliot. You all have been under stress for a long time on this. Roles get harder without anyone realizing it. Blow-ups happen, and as long as you can move forward and talk about it, you're fine. I know we're fine, 100%. No, that's not a question. I know Bert and I are extremely strong, and in the moment when blow-ups happen, you're like, gosh darn it, I don't know if I'm gonna, I'm so mad right now. I don't even know I could talk to him again. But you do talk to him, and that passes. Nobody is in our relationship here with me and Bert. Nobody is seriously actually hurting the other person. No harmful words are coming that can't be taken back and realize that you were speaking from a place that was unintended. I think that's the nice thing, is that Bert and I, through all the years of therapy that I have, are able to have those kinds of talks. And yeah, that's how we do it. Everyone's a little bit different. All right, so Kelly has her role here. I'm the inventory and purchasing manager of all things in the home. Oh, okay, so not work, at home. Okay. Paul does the dishes and laundry. These are examples, but from week to week, our roles sometimes shift. I loaded the dishwasher today. Wonderful. I think that that's a very fun thing to do. Is surprise the other person and do what they're usually supposed to do. And then that's like, oh, well, I guess I have a little bit of free time now. That is a fun thing. I like that. Hello, Anna. Love from Argentina. Sweet. I love that. Wonderful. Feel free to weigh in on this if you have, roles that you feel, Anna, that you have with someone in your family or at work or a relationship. Would love to hear how, your thoughts on, just kind of think about it, the roles you play. Let's talk about family roles. Okay, so I noticed this years ago, how as I, in my 20s, as I moved, away from home and on my own, had my own place and spent less time with my family, more time kind of finding myself and finding my group of friends, that I started to find, my own real personality different than how I am with my family. And this would get really funky when you start to bring your new friends home, to hang out with, maybe for a holiday or a celebration or something like that. And all of a sudden your friend's like, what was that? Like, you weren't yourself just then when we were hanging out with your family. Like, raise your hand if you've been there, right? Ever seen that happen with significant other in particular, where they're not themselves when they're with their family. And this is such a fascinating thing to me, because you get a peek at a different part of them. They're still the same person. They just have like different history with those people that make them act different or say different things or behave differently, right? I'm very, in my family, like, I don't know, oh gosh, the talkative one, I would say. Clearly I have a channel here that my family all tunes into once a week just to hear me talk. It's kind of funny. Then it's I feel like I might be the one, too, that pushes my family to talk about uncomfortable things from time to time. I feel like I'm the mediator in the family from time to time. Like if someone's like, hey, I'm not sure how to talk to so-and-so about this, I usually find I'm the one that usually they feel comfortable telling me and trusting that I can somehow talk to, the other person to try and balance that out, communicate that. Yeah. So where's this going to go, in the future? You can't plan your roles. And I do a lot of fantasizing of what kind of mom I'll be, when I have either a baby of my own or I'm fostering or adopting, or how I am around nephews, because that's all I have right now is just 4 wonderful nephews. But we can't plan what kind of parents we're going to be. We think about it. I don't know. Actually, parents out there, mom, would love to know. Do you think you planned out what kind of mom you would be? Were there certain things that you knew that you wanted to like be as a mom or dad you're listening to? I'd love to hear that. Actually, Paul and Kelly, are there certain things, or is it the complete opposite? You just have never, you had no idea you would turn out the kind of parents you came out. Yeah. Yeah, so mom is definitely saying yes. It seems to me that when you and your siblings are here, you all resort to your younger ways. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Kelly's saying mediators. So why do we always have to separate you from your siblings? Yes, very funny, Kelly. True. We put those two together and you've got a great picture of exactly what happens when we all get together as a family. We still kick each other under the table, still make fun of each other, I'm not so sure about that. Paul saying, I think we have to mediate you sometimes. I'm not saying I am excluded from that. I'm definitely, there's probably a lot of chatter behind my back, like, oh God, how are we going to deal with Lynn at Christmas this year? I don't know. This all could be news to me. But to answer my question about parenting, Paul said there's no way I could have known what kind of parent he would be, what kind of role he would play. So then I guess I'm going to, take this to the next step is like, I don't know. I spend a lot of time worrying about things, and I think I've gotten better at that, but we can do a lot less worrying if we realize that we can't control what kind of roles we're going to play, what kind of relationships we're going to have until we're there, right? Yeah. Anna likes that. I don't know what roles are planned, Dad is saying. Yeah. Well, here's one example, right? Before we have kids, Bert and I've said, we're gonna have bad cop, good cop type of thing, right? Like who's gonna be good cop, bad cop. But yeah, okay. And wait, Mom has a comment here too, and I love this. Okay, absolutely. My favorite thing to play as a kid was house and mommy. Also knew I would do little things differently than my mom. Oh man, isn't that is a wow, gold star right there. Okay. Love that. Yes. Don't we look at our parents and say, okay, they did a few things right. There's a few things I'm going to do differently. And I do love my parents, and I think I turned out okay. But yeah, there's definitely things I'm going to do a little different than my parents. And I mean that with no disrespect at all, because like I said, I love them. We have a wonderful, loving relationship. I think if I'm just going to put it out there. So one thing that I think I'll do differently with my kids is, and this is, again, who knows how it's actually going to turn out, but talking to them about their feelings at an earlier age, kind of how we talk about things on this channel, a little bit more openly. I think that there wasn't an emotional, there was some, but I don't think it got very deep. I think, finding my emotional awareness later in life is something I wish I would have found a lot earlier, so I could have gotten through some other things a lot differently as I went through them. And we won't get into that kind of dark stuff because that's a long time ago, but I do think that might have been a good thing if it was a little bit different. Just think about that. We can't change things now, though, but we can try to pass on the things that we learn on to our kids. I hope that's not getting awkward. Anyway, I think, I don't know, roles are fascinating to me. They used to talk about, when we went through psychology in high school, I remember the section where we'd have to learn about birth order, meaning there's certain things about you that are kind of predetermined in your personality or roles if you're the firstborn, the middle child, or the lastborn. And of course, there's different mixes if you don't have exactly 3 people in your family. But there's going to be the firstborn and the lastborn dynamics, and then everything in the middle. And there's some truth to that, right? But also, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Does that stuff actually happen, or does it happen because of that's what they tell us those kids are like, It's like when you read your horoscope, you're like, oh yeah, that's so true. But if you had read any of the other horoscopes, you could have been like, oh yeah, that's true too. we kind of want to believe those things to find direction in places when we ourselves are unable to find it from within. Whoa, I don't know. Do you guys hear me there? Are we good? Okay. Thank you guys for chiming in on the roles thing. I don't know. It's... I feel like I'm just hanging out with my family tonight, but I love it so much. Middle children are the best. Fact. Okay, that's coming from my sister, who is the middle child. If you guys don't know, I am the firstborn, and then Paul is, who right here, is the youngest out of the three of us. So me, my sister, and then my brother is the youngest. This fascinates me to this day, birth order and family structure, stuff like that. Yeah, me too, Paul. It is very fascinating, and you could get really, we could have a whole episode just on that, and learning about that. And like, what if, I don't know, like, how do you parent to that too? Like, is that something that, that, I don't know, that you should keep in mind? Or is it like oh, she's just behaving that way because she's the middle child? Oh, is it something that you could just kind of like, oh, there's nothing we could have done. Screw it. The last kid's going to be, anyway. I don't mean that. Paul is awesome. All my siblings were all very unique and different. We all have our strengths and our weaknesses. It's there's not a best. Kim is saying middle children are the best. My dad is laughing. But I mean, clearly the firstborns are the best, right? Well, let's give you guys an update on, I don't know. I kind of updated you earlier, with our fostering program. We need to fill out the paperwork to get the background check. And I have made connection with someone who has been fostering for a year, and she's willing to talk with us. Either we're going to meet up in person or do a call this week. So I'm looking forward to that. I have to schedule that tonight. Bert and I were at a wedding over the weekend. We went to Nashville from, we got there Thursday through Saturday. Congratulations to Par and Cece. It was an awesome wedding. We got to see all of our friends all in one place that we haven't seen since before the pandemic. These are the group of friends that kind of came with like Bert's college. It's kind of a ball of people that, I don't know, there's a core of Minnesota people in there and Wisconsin people. I'm kind of one of the last to join the group, the outsiders, but yeah, very much part of that group and love everybody in it. And it was really awesome to see everybody and hang out, have some drinks and have some good food and dance, and it was fun. I'll tell you a sad story, like a double sad story. So I bought a new dress for the wedding because we have 5 weddings to go to this season. And I'm like, well, if we post these pictures on Facebook, I don't want to be wearing the same dress in all of them. Not that anybody would notice that. But I said, I'm going to treat myself to a new dress. Found one at Target. It was only $35. It was like, okay, if I don't like it, I'll just bring it back. But I put it on. Bert's like, oh, that's really fun. It's like a turtleneck. It's got a little frill up here. It's orange. It's like really noticeable, right? You enter a room and people are like, oh, look at that chick. So I was like, I'll be that chick. It's going to be fun. It's a wedding, So feel pretty sassy going into the wedding with this bright orange dress and a turtleneck with ruffles and sleeves on it, nonetheless. Yep. There's another girl wearing the exact same dress. It gets worse. She's pregnant. Ooh. Just get out of here, lady. So it was just, that was a little rough. But, guys, it's okay. Because we've got a plan to make our family. We've got, we're living in living with what we've got right now and happy with what we've got. And that's all you need. All you need is love, baby. So, she came up and she was like, hey, great minds think alike type of thing. And I was like, yeah, sure, you look great. Great dress. I gave her, that smile, like we acknowledged each other. And then like the rest of the night, like, let's just be on different parts of the dance floor because we don't want to make this even more awkward. But, she was pregnant, so she only danced, not as long as I did. And, I could drink and she couldn't. So that made dancing even more fun, if you don't mind me saying. So we got through it and it was fine. I really wanted to go home and change, but I was just like, I'm not going to let this whole fiasco and this, lucky woman who's pregnant and I'm not, ruin this awesome wedding. So that was my little, like it kind of was going the entire time in my brain, but I didn't let it ruin my experience. So it is what it is. It is what it is. There's millions upon millions of stories like that where it's just like, this is so unfortunate. No, I did not take a photo with her. I did not want that to be part of my memory of this wedding. I wanted the memory of the wedding to be dancing on the balcony with my friends Katie and Beth, and like everyone else is down on the dance floor, and there was this balcony that had like nothing up there and it overlooked everything. It was all inside, and we were just had our own space, and we were just like living in the music. That's what I want my memories to be of. Not that I was jealous of a woman wearing the same dress and who was more capable of carrying a baby to term than I am. But someday I will. Someday I will. She was a inspiration, a peek into my future. Firstborn, look at me, orange dress. I bet the other woman was a firstborn too. Yeah, exactly. So, I'm sure you look better in the dress. Well, I don't know. We looked different. Her body was definitely pregnant, and I wore a belt around my midsection because it was kind of like a loose fitting dress, and I'm like, well, I got to show off my hips, So I put a belt around the middle. I think I looked good, but I'm also looking to get rid of an orange dress. If anyone's interested, I'm selling it for like $5. You can have it, actually. Okay. I don't know. Today's been a weird episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm actually going to go wrap this up, and I have to get some stuff ready for bingo. My friend, a friend of mine asked if I would host a virtual bingo for her school. She's on the PTA, and I'm like, well, guess we're doing this again. So I have to go and get some materials ready for that. That's going to be coming up in a few weeks. And the next episode that I hope to do with you guys is actually going to be kind of a throwback, and this is all depending on what happens over the next week. But what I am planning on doing is an episode where I talk about like the 10 things I wish I knew about IVF before starting, or the 10 things I learned from IVF. I don't know. Tell me which one of those you like better as a title. I'm going to roll through them. I'm also going to, this will be on the next episode. I'm also going to ask if you have any things that you've learned from IVF. I'd love to hear from you, so I can kind of maybe include that in my list, or maybe like, include it in one of the things on the list as, as a thing. So if you've gone through IVF, I'd love to hear from you, and we'll get that going next week probably. And even if, that doesn't interest you at all, I promise I'll make it a good show, okay, as I do. So, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. If there's anything you take away from this today, just have an awareness, like a little mindfulness as you're interacting with people that you do on a day-to-day basis, and, maybe take a little note of, that's interesting. That's how I respond to that person, or, that's what I always do when I'm with this person. And do I like that? Is that something I want to change? Is that something that I chose, or is that something they chose for me? Add a little mindfulness to your relationships and your roles. Let's see. Oh my gosh, Kim, thank you so much for asking this. I actually had it on my list here to talk about. Will there be a special celebration when you reach 500 subscribers? You're close. 100%. Yes, guys, I am 4 subscribers away from hitting 500 subscribers, which is halfway to the subscriber number that I need to monetize on this channel, which a little extra dough wouldn't hurt. I have been doing this channel since January, so wouldn't it be cool if I hit 1,000 subscribers in 1 year, which is what a lot of my live streaming friends have done, or YouTube friends have done. Is like once they hit that 1 year mark, it's like magic. All of a sudden they're like, okay, you've put in the time, you've put in the videos, you can now monetize. So it's not a 1 year mark. It's just usually that's when people hit their 1,000 subscribers, when they're on the same kind of, I don't know, trajectory as I am. I do this once a week, and I'm not putting edited videos together. But yeah, 500, that's amazing. Heck yeah. Thanks, guys. We're not there yet, so don't celebrate yet. Save that for next week when hopefully I'll hit 500. But yeah, my channel's going well, and it's all thanks to you guys. I see a few people have smashed that like button. Go ahead, smash that like button. Yeah, so hopefully we'll be putting together some good content for you coming up. And I super appreciate the people watching from all over the world tonight. We had Argentina and India, and I know Marcus will probably maybe watch the replay. Normally he watches from Switzerland. I know he's watching some of our other friends who are doing a live stream at this exact same time tonight. So much love to you guys. Thanks to my family for tuning in tonight and contributing to the conversation about roles. Have a great week. Baby dust to you if you're trying to make your own family. We're on this journey together. I will see you guys next week. Thank you so much for watching. And bye. Whoa, where's my music? I don't know. There you go. The calming soothing sounds of the river.